Hi, I'm Kaylee, and these are the classics that I want to read in 2024. I just did a video all about my 2024 reading goals, and one of those goals, like it is every year, is to read at least 12 classics. Once I sat down and started writing myself a list of the classics that I wanted to read, it ended up being 33 books on my TBR list. So even if I only read a fraction of those, I will have met my goal to read at least 12 classics. So today we're going to talk about what books are actually on my list that I want to read for this year. Please leave me a comment and let me know, what are some of your TBR possibilities for this coming year? What are you really excited to start reading? Before we dive into that TBR, I'm going to reach back here to our Booktuber Shoutout book, and we're going to shout out somebody randomly. There's only one left. There's only one. I need to get some more people in our Booktuber Shoutout book because we're out. It is empty. All right, our very last Booktuber Shoutout is to Alexa Loves Books. I will leave a link to their channel in the description. Please be sure to go over and subscribe to them. If you haven't already, please do subscribe to this channel and give this video a thumbs up if you are really excited about your reading goals for this coming year. And be sure to follow me over on Instagram and Storygraph and Goodreads if you want to hear about all the classics that I will be reading throughout the year. So right at the top of my list is Kenilworth by Sir Walter Scott. I've had that one on my bookshelves for quite a while. I actually just bought the audiobook using one of my Audible credits. So that one is definitely going to get read this year. I decided that this was the year that I really wanted to read a lot more George MacDonald. I've read a lot of his fantasy and a few of his Christian novels, but I really decided, like, this is going to be the year of George MacDonald, and I'm just going to read bunches of his stuff. So I have two audiobooks of George MacDonald that I want to read. The first one is The Curate's Awakening, and the second one is The Lady's Confession, which is the sequel to Curate's Awakening. Now, I think those have also been published under different names. So I don't know why they do that. Why do they change the title? And then it's just confusing and you're like, what book even is this? But I'm pretty sure those actually have different titles. I also want to read Evelina by Fanny Burney. That one has also been on my list for quite a while. I read Cecilia by Fanny Burney and really loved it. And so now I'm excited to read more from that author. And I have a whole bunch of Agatha Christie that I want to read. Death on the Nile, Hercule Poirot's Casebook, Hickory Dickory Dock, Appointment with Death, The Pale Horse, and The Crooked House. So lots of great Agatha Christie mysteries coming up this year. I also have The Good Soldier on my TBR. I know absolutely nothing about this book. I know nothing about this author. It's just, hey, that looks like a cool cover. That looks like a classic. Let's put it on the list. If you've read this one, leave me a comment and let me know. Is it a good one? And I have a couple of books from Daphne du Maurier. I really loved Rebecca from this author, but a couple of her other books have been kind of hit or miss for me. So I want to read more from Daphne du Maurier to find out, like, is this really one of my favorite authors, or is it just I liked Rebecca and I don't really like anything else by this author? I don't know. We will find out. So I'm going to be reading Rule Britannia and The House on the Strand. I don't know anything about either of these. I don't know anything about the plot or anything. Just there they are. Then I have several books from one author where I bought this really beautiful antique set of their books. And it looks like these really dramatic romances, but I read the first page of one of them and it just kind of made me laugh because it was so overly dramatic. So I think this will be really fun. I don't know if I'll end up loving it or just laughing my way through because it's so dumb. We will find out. So I have a bunch of her books on my list. Little Girl Lost, Silver Slippers, Burning Beauty, and The Wild Wind. I have a lot of antique books on my shelves, and in the past, I haven't really been interested in actually reading them. They were just kind of there because the cover looks pretty. So now I'm actually thinking, you know what? I'm gonna read some of these. Yeah, I'm gonna read a bunch of these. A lot of them are from like the 1920s, 30s, and 40s, which is not an era that I feel like I read a lot from. So I feel like it'll be really fun to read some more from this time period. So I have Guyford of Weir, The Golden Snare, The Turquoise, Why Not, Blue Anchor Inn, The Hermit of Far End, Bachelor's Bounty, oh dear, A Yank in the RAF, Maida's Little Camp, The Ninth Earl, Strawberry Acres, Lady of Quality, The Flirt, The House of 1,000 Candles, and The Royal Box. So a whole bunch of these that I really know nothing about them, except that they're old and the cover looks cool. And the last book on my Classics TBR is The Phantom of the Opera. I've been meaning to read this for years, and I really love the movie and all the beautiful music and everything. So I think it'll be interesting to finally read the actual book. All right, those are the 33 classic books that are on my TBR for this year. Who knows if I'll actually get to these? As long as I read at least 12 of them, then I will have met my goal. But it's just kind of like I have a lot to choose from. These are the possibilities of what I might be reading this coming year. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe, and remember, the right book in the right hands at the right time can change the world.